Hey there guys, I'm Shivansh. Welcome back to my channel. Today I've got something a little different for you. I'm about to share a story that's been passed down to me. It's not your typical tale, but one that's shrouded in mystery and intrigue. It's a story that takes us away from our everyday lives and into the heart of the southern Ozarks, where tranquility hides an unsettling truth. I must warn you, this is not for the faint-hearted. So if you're ready to dive into the unknown, buckle up. Let's begin this journey together, and remember, not everything is as it seems. Let's get started with the story. The southern Ozarks, a place of serene beauty, was our new home, but serenity, it seems, was just a facade. We had packed up our lives and headed to this remote corner of the world, trading suburban comforts for the allure of seclusion and tranquility. The cabin, nestled in the heart of the wilderness, was far removed from the hustle and bustle of civilization. An unsettling silence hung heavy in the air, interrupted only by the occasional whispers of the wind. The isolation was tangible, like a palpable presence. We were alone, or so we thought. The cabin was an odd mix of the old and the new. Its wooden structure echoed the charm of a bygone era, while modern amenities provided a semblance of comfort. Yet there was an eeriness that clung to the place, an unsettling feeling that we weren't its only inhabitants. The move was not an ordinary one, and the house seemed to hold its secrets close. My younger sister, always the imaginative one, took to the house immediately. She ran through the rooms, her laughter echoing through the otherwise silent house. But it was her immediate connection with the house that added an unexpected layer to the mystery. She claimed to have made a new friend, an unseen entity who she said lived in the curtains. Her innocent chatter about her invisible friend filled the cabin with an uncanny aura. The idea of an unseen friend was not new. Many children have them, but this was different. This friend was not a product of an overactive imagination. No, there was something more, something that sent a shiver down my spine. It was as if the house itself was breathing, living, whispering its stories in the ears of my little sister. My sister referred to her invisible friend, one who apparently resided in the curtains. A chill ran down my spine. A new day dawned, but with it came an unsettling discovery. As the sun's first rays pierced the dense forest surrounding our cabin, a peculiar sight greeted us. There, on the dusty wooden floor of our new abode, were footprints. But these were not just any footprints. They were unlike anything we'd ever seen before. The footprints were large, far larger than any human foot could possibly be. Each one was roughly the length of my forearm with a width to match. They seemed to be from a creature with 5 digits, much like a human, but the toes were elongated, almost like fingers, each ending with a pronounced, claw-like imprint. They were deeply etched into the wooden floor, as if the creature that had left them bore a weight far greater than any human could carry. The footprints were not consistent in their size or shape, as if they were left by a creature constantly changing, morphing. It was as if the footprints were trying to tell a terrifying story, a story we were not prepared to hear. They would appear out of nowhere, with no indication as to how they got there. There were no footprints leading up to the cabin, nor any leading away. They would simply materialize in the heart of our cabin, only to vanish without a trace when we turned our backs. The footprints sparked a feeling of unease in us, a sense of dread that sunk deep into our bones. We were not alone in this cabin, in this isolated corner of the Ozarks. Something was with us, something that didn't belong in the natural world. Every creak of the cabin, every rustle in the forest outside, every flicker of the shadows became a sign of its presence. It was as if the footprints had opened our eyes to a hidden, terrifying truth. We were sharing our home with a presence that was as elusive as it was menacing. Footprints, with no logical origin or end, were our uninvited guests. My heart pounded in my chest, but curiosity overpowered fear. It was time to step into the unknown, to explore the shadows that had been haunting our remote cabin in the Ozarks. I, a mere teenager, had taken upon myself the role of an investigator, determined to get to the bottom of the eerie occurrences that had unsettled my family. The strange footprints, the whispers in the wind, and my sister's invisible friend hiding in the curtains, they all pointed towards something supernatural, and I was going to find out what it was, or at least try. With a deep breath, I outlined my plan. It was risky, and to be honest, it made me feel a pang of guilt. I decided to use my sister, the one person who seemed to have a connection with this unseen entity, as bait. It was a tough call. She was innocent, unaware of the creeping dread that had taken hold of me, and here I was, planning to use her as a tool to uncover a potentially dangerous mystery. I didn't tell her about my plan, I couldn't bring myself to scare her, to make her a part of this nightmare that was slowly revealing itself. Instead, I asked her to play near the curtains, where she claimed her friend lived. Promising her that I would be nearby, I watched her, my heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and dread. The tension in the air was palpable. As the minutes ticked away, the hush of the cabin seemed to grow louder, the shadows deeper. I could feel it, a sense of something stirring, a presence that was both intriguing and terrifying. I prepared myself, my senses heightened, ready to face whatever was about to unfold. I had no idea what to expect, no idea what lurked behind the curtains in the shadows of our cabin, but I was ready to confront it, ready to protect my family, and most importantly, ready to protect my sister. My sister, innocent and unknowing, was my only hope to uncover this mystery. The night was upon us, and with it, the moment of truth. The air was thick with anticipation, our hearts pounding in our chests like a drumbeat in the silence. It was time to unveil the unseen, to bring the hidden into the light. I had meticulously set the stage, my sister unwittingly playing her part. She was in her room, the curtains rustling lightly, whispering secrets of the night. There was a peculiar chill in the air, a shiver that had nothing to do with the cold. The cabin creaked under the weight of our suspense, sharing in our restless anticipation. As the minutes ticked by, the cabin seemed to breathe with us, in rhythm with our mounting anxiety. The silence was so profound you could almost hear the soft rustling of the curtains growing louder, more frantic. And then, there it was. The faintest of sounds, like the softest of footsteps on the wooden floor. The footprints, those strange, eerie footprints, appeared once more as if materializing out of thin air. They led from the window across the room and stopped just short of where my sister sat, oblivious to the spectacle unfolding around her. The room seemed to hold its breath, the suspense reaching a fever pitch. Then, breaking the silence like a thunderclap, a soft giggle echoed through the room, my sister's innocent laughter mingling with the whispering wind. And then, as if summoned by her laughter, it appeared. An entity, a presence, an unseen friend finally stepping out of the shadows. The room filled with an uncanny energy, a strange sense of dread and fascination mixing in with the chill of the night air. The moment we had been waiting for was finally here. The unseen friend, the source of the eerie footprints and my sister's imaginary companion, had finally made an appearance. The mystery that had gripped us since we moved to this remote cabin was beginning to unravel. There in the dim light stood the unseen friend. Fear gripped my heart, but the reality was more astonishing than terrifying. As the final pieces of this unsettling puzzle clicked into place, it was not a specter or ghoul that emerged from the shadows of our imaginations, but a very real, very human figure. The unseen friend, the phantom in the curtains, was nothing more than a lost child. This child, hailing from a nearby village, had somehow found himself adrift in the vast, wild terrain of the southern Ozarks. He had been seeking shelter and companionship within the confines of our remote cabin, a beacon of safety amidst the wilderness. The strange footprints, the ones that had sent chills down our spines, were his. They were the marks of a scared child seeking solace, not the ominous symbols of supernatural activity that we had initially feared. His presence in our home, his interaction with my little sister, it was all born out of a desperate need for connection. He was not haunting our cabin, he was merely surviving, doing what he could in a world that was far too big and far too frightening for someone so young. His story, while unsettling, was ultimately one of resilience and survival. With the mystery finally resolved, our fear quickly transformed into empathy. We helped the child return to his village, ensuring he was safe and reunited with his family. The relief in his eyes, the gratitude of his family, it was a sight that would forever be etched into our memories. In the heart of the Ozarks, we found not just a home, but a story we would recount for years to come. It was a tale of misplaced fear and the power of understanding, a tale that reminded us that sometimes, the things we fear the most are simply the things we understand the least. In the heart of the Ozarks, we found not just a home, but a story we would recount for years to come.